When I was 14 years old, my mother placed her dinner fork down on the kitchen table, looked at me and my brother, steepled her hands beneath her face. Morgan, Jonathan, now y'all know my ex-husband. Hallelujah. And your father, I am so sorry, likes to act like he ain't got a lick of damn sense. This was true, because when I was 12, the man gave me a birthday card he was supposed to have given me when I was 2. Well, your father got another woman pregnant when y'all were very little. And that woman had a little girl. And before you ask me any questions, I don't know where she is, what her name is, or what her mama's name is, because your daddy doesn't know either. My brother and I stared at one another. We would not have been more surprised if my mother had given us $1,000, driven us to Blockbuster, and told us we could rent as many movies and video games as we wanted. We had a sister, but we didn't know her name or where she was. It was almost like not having a sister at all. And I would think of her over the years because we at least knew she was 4 years younger than me. Like when I graduated from high school. Dang, my sister would have just finished her freshman year. Or when I moved from Charlotte, North Carolina to Washington, D.C. Is this gonna make it harder for her to find us? To find me? And when I transitioned from female to male. This is gonna make for a hell of a conversation. Sis, no, you've had 2 brothers the whole time, forever. And at 31, my brother sent me a text. Hey man, what you doing? Nothing, I'm making dinner, what's up? He sent a picture through to my phone. Who she look like? Man, I don't know, I guess she looked like our father. Why? Yo, it's her. It's our sister. She found us. And after he gave me her name, Donetta, I immediately jumped on Facebook, clicking through photo after photo, stopping on the one that read, "Look at me and my kids." 2 little girls and a boy, including my brother's son. I now have 4 nieces and nephews. How on earth am I supposed to be able to afford Christmas and birthdays now? I can barely afford to spoil myself. Wondered if I would even be allowed to spoil them if it would come out wrong. Her photos showed me just how different her life was from mine, because she lives in a small town in Ohio. One of those small towns that was devastated by the loss of manufacturing jobs. One of those small towns that always seems devastatingly white when talked about on the news, as if no one else was suffering there too. Recognized immediately the presumptuousness of my assuming she had suffered. And what would she think when she saw my pictures? Would they be too glossy, too sleek, too full of weekend brunches with my friends that created a mimosa-filled gulf that could never be breached between the 2 of us? And then my phone rang. Unknown number. But Siri guessed somewhere in Ohio. How did she get my... Hello? Hey, brother! Oh my God! I've been looking for you for forever. And I even wrote into Maury, "You are not the Father Povich," trying to get help. But he couldn't find you either. But I always search Dad's name. And last night I looked, and he popped up. And he looks like me. And he looks like you too. Donetta sounded wholly familiar. long before our conversation ended, because she stutters like me. When I get too excited or nervous, the words tap dancing on the tip of my tongue as though my anxiety were forcing them to pay tribute before continuing on. And when she laughed, it reminded me of my brothers. Her brother too, I guess. And all the nights we would stay up playing video games until the rising sun sent us to bed. And a few weeks later, I found myself making the solitary journey to Lima, Ohio. The rising sun on the horizon as though beckoning me towards a new future, even as I tried to bury my excitement and hopes like seeds. Because if it didn't work out, then maybe they just weren't planted in fertile ground. Pulled up in front of her house and saw my sister, her brothers, her mother, and what appeared to be the entire neighborhood, standing on a dilapidated porch attached to a house whose paint flicked and peeled like fading memories. And I walked up to them, and then I froze, because this was the moment that could turn family into strangers, or something like strangers into family. And then I heard it. The quick pitter-patter of feet across the wooden planks, and there was my nephew leaping off the top step, arms flung wide, head held back, laughing. Uncle Morgan! Knowing nothing of me, except he trusted me to catch him as he fell. And I did. Held his giggling body close to my chest, placed him gently on the ground, and his leap of faith, it broke the dam of awkwardness between me and my sister, and she came running up to me, hands on my shoulders, on my face, wrapping me in a hug. You came. I can't believe you came to see me. Sis, after 17 years, there is literally nothing I would rather do. Thank you.
That is true, my summer